I'm starting.
Hello. Welcome to all managers to another stream of FPL Jedi Show, episode 26. We are featuring Game Week 31. We just finishing our international break. Hopefully everyone had a nice break from FPL. Okay, I'm not sure whether there are managers still hopping on FPL for during the break, but for myself, I had a good break. So it is time for the run-in. We are going into the last 8 matches of the season. Would like to welcome my partner in crime, Azmin. How are you? How's your break?
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, yeah. So I think I had a good break from FPL, especially because my game week 30 was quite bad. So I think I able to take the break helps me to not rage transfer or anything, and just take it easy and and accept what happened. So yeah, I'm good to go for the rest of the season. So we're down to 8 more game weeks. So this is it. This is it, people. Whatever your objectives, whether you top your mini league, whether you want to get as high ranking as possible, make sure you finish off strongly. And there's a lot of potential in these last few weeks. Depending on where you stand and what your situation is, but it's all to play for.
All right, Min. I'm super excited because before actually this show or during the break, I'm not too sure how to approach, especially this last we call it fixture of the season lah. These 8 matches because we have double game week. We already know announcement of double game week in 33. We are gonna have an extra match in game week 31. Yeah, we're gonna know there'll be some big matches or big double game week in 36 or 37, which is still we are not confirmed yet, but that is what my expectation. Okay, but now a lot of managers are thinking if let's say we have few chips still remaining like wildcard or bench boost or the free hitting, or maybe some who still maybe have triple captain chips. So not sure how they want to approach this chip for the next 8 matches. So never fear, because in today's show that we are going to have tonight, okay, man, we both are going to run all the chip options, all the chip strategy, wherever possible that managers could actually take into consideration before making your decision. That what we're going to do tonight, because I think this is the crucial moment. If you want to do anything, 31 should start until the end of 38 lah. Is the right planning that we should do.
Yep. Let's go.
Okay. All right. Let's go to what our agenda for tonight. Okay. You can see we gonna like quickly run through our game week 30 results. I think it has been like 1 or 2 weeks back. Then we're gonna have a look fixture ticker for the 8 matches, the running we call it, okay, until the end of the season, how it looks like, which team is actually having favorable matches that we should target. We are also going to have a look on the postponed matches that the teams still will have for the next few matches. Then we look at chip strategy. Okay, we're going to look at the current state of play, and then we're going to look at what kind of chips that we have and how we should approach the matches. We're going to have also a look who managers who are looking at wildcarding this week, what kind of players to be considered, and what kind of template that they are movement currently. We're going to have a look at game week 31 fixture, the normal captain pick, and also our transfer plan. A lot of to cover, man, for tonight.
Yep.
Let's go to game week 30. Yours first, man.
Okay, so basically I went into this with only 8 players and having taken a -4 as well. Unfortunately, one half of that -4 failed to turn up Ericsson, which had COVID, and Ramsdale ended up being injured and he didn't play. So I was actually down to 6 players, and you add that to Jimenez getting sent off with a red card, so I was down to 5. So it was a bit tough. I'm glad I got Kane in before the week before, so that captaining him would turn out to be the right call. However, I guess my major disappointment was Ericsson, because I really was hoping that he would inspire Brentford against Leicester, but obviously without him, it was inevitable that they would collapse. And of course, not having Ramsdale, considering Arsenal kept the clean sheet, is also hurts, and that's probably why those two really caused my rank to drop down by 30,000. Yeah, so I dropped out the top 100k again. So now I need to bounce and go back in again.
Yep. Frustrating, but it's not that damaging, man. You're still somewhere there that in touch with 100k. So we can only move forward. Okay. So in terms of my team, maybe I'm a bit lucky from you. I did bring in Kane and Kulusevski for Salah, and also King. The King at last he gone, and from the beginning I really want to captain Kane. Kane did perform, but in the end, actually, Son performed the better points between those two. But I'm still happy to have both of them. Like you, frustrating. Arsenal kept clean sheet, but Ramsdale is a no-show. Then Rafinha is another one. Okay, there's been rumors that from the beginning of the deadline in game week 30, that rumors that Rafinha might not start or not, and I've decided not to complicate things and try my luck. But in the end, Rafinha did not feature, so no points there. I took a -4. Overall, I got 50 points, but considering the average point of 28, right? So we should be happy. We are actually more than average points, mean for me.
Yeah. So for you, I guess your main differential was, well, in a way, it was Son. So the rumors of Son being dead as FPL have been greatly exaggerated. So he came back up again and scored 2 goals, which Kane assisted both goals. I think.
Kane actually assisted 3 goals in that game. Spurs win 3, so that's why he got also the bonus point. So that's where he got like 13 points, I think. Okay, so but in the end, my overall ranking actually down by from 156 to 162.
Yeah, I guess a lot of those free hitters who went for Arsenal and Leicester as well as Spurs, so I kind of expected that would happen. But so I guess on your side, I think I would still consider your week a success, given the fact that a lot of people are free hitting. Yeah.
Yep.
So
I should not be thinking so much on the ranking. We slightly drop, but I think I'm in actually in touch for even though 162 and 100k is actually quite far, to be honest, but in terms of point, I think like 20 30 point I can actually make up. So that is where
Yes.
my planning will be. All right.
Yep.
So let's move on to fixture ticker from game week 31 to 38. I got this from Fantasy Football Scout members area. If you like this information, you can subscribe to this website. Okay, we can see here when we sort by difficulty, we can see Burnley on top. Okay, man. Burnley on top because we can see game week 31, they play twice, even though play with Man City. Game week 33, they're gonna play twice again. So we're gonna have like 5 matches over 3 game weeks from Burnley. Okay. And then on top of that, they have another postponed matches that will need be to reschedule, which is Aston Villa, and it is rumored to be scheduled somewhere 34, 35. So if that happens, we can see that for the next 5 matches, we have like 7 games from Burnley. So that is one thing that I can see why Burnley on top. Then we can see Leicester also on top there. Okay, because they played double in game week 33, but they also have 2 matches to be rescheduled. Norwich is the enticing one, and then Chelsea. We can see them. Arsenal also still on top. Okay, and they still have favorite matches until the end of the season, and we know Arsenal has a lot to play. Okay, until the end because they are fighting for top 4. They have total matches to be rescheduled. There's another thing to take note. Then Manchester United, Southampton, and Brighton, just mainly because they have double game in game week 33. All right. So for that, mean what your feedback on this in terms of Burnley, Leicester, Arsenal, and so on?
Yeah, I think um, it looks great, especially. But of course we have to consider the quality of the team itself as well. At the same time, there's also the concern with teams like Leicester, Chelsea, Manchester City, who also have European commitments. So, take for example Leicester. So that Crystal Palace match, if I remember correctly, is sandwiched between two of Leicester's European legs.
Okay.
So Europa conference. So that's where it can be a bit tricky, and we need to assess whether or not the player we pick is also going to be playing in those knockout rounds for the Europa. So that's why it can get a bit tricky. So when you consider teams like Arsenal, Manchester United, they're fine. They don't have any distractions. They're not in the FA Cup. They're no longer in the FA Cup. They're no longer in the Europe competition. So definitely those are those teams that you want to try to optimize on, because they are free to focus on the league.
Yep. We can also see there, in terms of postponed matches on the right side, the green and red color, we can see who's still have some matches to be played. Mostly that we foresee is all these matches should be scheduled somewhere 36 and 37, especially they have that free midweek during those game week 36 and 37. You can see that Chelsea have like 2 fixture favorable one, Leicester and Leeds, to be scheduled. Okay.
Yep.
uh, and then we can see like maybe not so much on Everton. They still have 2 fixture to be rescheduled, but it's something that we should put into our thinking. Say Everton did continue, did perform somehow, rather they find form in terms of DCL or Richarlison, and Everton really in danger in during this in relegation battle. They have something to play. We already know Everton have double game week in 31. So I know you privilege have DCL. Okay, I don't know whether you still open to these Everton assets or not, but it's something that should consider, right? Hmm.
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one holding these Everton players. They're quite frustrating, but as you say, it's all dependent on circumstances. Right now, they really involved in that fight. So will it bolster their team to perform better? So it's something that we'll have to talk. So the Everton and Burnley matchup is almost it's pretty much a relegation battle, isn't it?
Yep,
So
yep,
you need. I think it's key to for you to determine who we expect to win that match, and if you are looking to pick up a Burnley and Everton player, then you need to decide that and pick your picks based on what you predict the result will be.
yep. When you mention about teams that still has to play like European competition, especially the big teams like Chelsea, Man City, and also Liverpool. Okay, we can see there in terms of Chelsea, they have favorable matches from 31 until 38. We can see there, and also some rescheduled matches. We can see also there, Man City. Okay, a set of Liverpool matches, which is the crucial one. Game week 32, Liverpool and Man City will play each other. Man City have really favorable run, and also with Liverpool, which they also have good matches coming up, and both of them are fighting for the league. So I can see not much of rotation that these two teams should go to. I expect they feel the strong team and should not. I don't think we should not worry so much on the rotation. What do you think?
For Manchester City and Liverpool,
Yep.
I do think there is a worry. I mean,
Oh, there's the
uh,
worry. Okay.
yeah, and it really is depending on the priorities, and I can't deny that Manchester City are really keen on winning the
Mhm.
Champions League. So, but
Okay.
at the same time, they are, of course, just both teams are aware that they'll still want to field the best team they can possibly can, depending on the matchup.
Yep.
So the next thing that you need to look at is um, the gap between the matches. Yeah, does Manchester City have enough time between the Champions League match and followed by the Liverpool match? You know, at the same time, but at the same time, do I remember like that Manchester City Liverpool match? Both of these teams are also involved in Champions League matches. So it's tough, but I think we can predict what how both teams will set up, and of course let's bear in mind though that the international break is still going on. So
Okay.
once that finishes, then we can really get a complete idea of where the teams are, and we can move from there. Okay, so for example, we know that
Mm.
Salah and Mane were involved in the World Cup qualifier, uh, uh, 1 o'clock, well, last night basically,
Yep.
and so we know again that Senegal triumphed again, just like in
Yep.
AFCON. So because
And
of
Salah
that,
missed a penalty kick, right? Mm.
yeah. So because of that, I feel that once again, um, Mane will be the one who given a bit more of a break, because they'll probably be celebrating that qualifier. He'll probably be on the bench, and Salah will be the one who will likely start the match. But of course, I mean, I don't want to jump the gun too yet, but that's my impression at the moment. And of course, Salah will want to get angry at something, and unfortunately, Watford is in the way. So, but of course, we were dependent on team news. So again, let's we need to be careful and check out team news on Friday and see
Yep.
what
Another point that would like to stress out is Arsenal and also Spurs. They are actually fighting for top four. And to be fair, Manchester United is also there. Both all these things has favorable matches to be fair, and we should not not consider those players. I feel they still have something to play, and for us to put them into our team.
Yeah, definitely. And the difference between Manchester United and Arsenal is only 4 points, and Spurs are in the middle in between them. So yeah, it'll definitely help. And
Mm-mm.
the thing is,
Mm.
Arsenal and Manchester United don't have any Spurs, Arsenal,
Spurs
Spurs, and
also,
Manchester
yeah, yeah.
all don't
So
have
they
any.
can feel a strong team every single game. Yep.
Exactly. So definitely something to look at.
Yep. We all know Portugal won the World Qualifier, and Ronaldo and Bruno has involved on those achievement in terms of goal and assists.
So is
maybe
Jota.
those could kickstart Manchester United form back. I'm not too sure, but those the highlights during the international break lah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you want to touch from here? I think this is the one that the overall picture. If you want
Yeah.
to see which team that you think you want to pick, and you can just leave it until the end of the season or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I just want to point out, draw your everyone's attention to the bottom of the table there. So as people prepared for to blank game week 30, we some of us look to stock in Leeds players, Wolves players, and Aston Villa's players. So now when you look at the fixture ticker, those teams are now right at the bottom of the fixture ticker. Even Aston Villa, even though they have two more rescheduled games, but they right at the bottom. So this may be the right time to start evacuating. Now, obviously, if you look at Leeds, they have Southampton who seem to be at the beach already, and then they have Watford. So those are still good matchups. But after that, it's going to be look like a mess. And if Leeds can get maximum points out of this, against Southampton and Watford, then they're I would say they're theoretically safe already, and that is when you have to worry about experimentation, because we got a new manager, and obviously he's going to try to see what team who has to play. So, and this is where he may start experimenting. And if looking at Leeds is safe, so these are the dangers that you need to consider. Whereas Wolves, however, of course, they're fighting for a Europe spot, maybe not Champions League, but they're Europa. So,
Yep.
but again, this will be they don't have a good fixture list, and all these three team blank in game week 33. So if you don't
Yep.
have
Yep.
any chips left, then you need to plan for that, and it's probably best you not have any, so that you can ensure you're able to field a good squad for game week 33.
Yep. Yep. Thank you for highlighting. That's clearly that there's the blank there for those three teams. In game week 33, Leeds, Wolves, and Villa will not have any matches, and some other team have two matches. So that's where you need to be careful if you have this. I think if let's say you uh, have a lot of these players like Wolves defender Jimenez, and then you have Coutinho, you have Rafinha, you have Digny. It's something that you need to manage how to manage on, especially on game week 33.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to next topic, which is chip strategy. I got this state of play inside Fantasy Football Scout. In terms of chip use in top 10K, I think this is a good measurement in terms of the ranking. We can see there, okay, in terms of top 10K, 84% has played their wildcard. So maybe around like 15% or something like that still have wildcard in their hand. Okay, but what I can see, this a different season. I mean, normally people will wildcard somewhere 34, 35. Okay, but this a different season with COVID still around. I think most of the managers has activate their wildcard in 26, 28 or something like that. So we can see there a lot of managers has used that chips, especially in top 10K, and maybe that is the reason why they are inside this top 10K right now. Okay, because
Yeah.
using this. Okay, another thing that would like to highlight is only 53% that has used bench boost. Normally, this wildcard will come together with bench boost, right? When you wildcard, you plan for bench boost and you play. But it seems that like half still has this bench boost chip still around to play, even though maybe they already played wildcard. That I can see from here. Okay, we can see there almost everyone has played their triple captain. Okay, 5% left with not playing triple captain. I'm not sure. Okay, the first free hit, most of them has played it after game week 30. We can see like 95% has played that, but only 30% has used their free hit, the second free hit. So a lot of managers they have one free hit left. So that's the state that we can see here, man. Anything that you want to comment on this? How it turns out? You're on mute, mate.
Sorry, one of the reasons is, from my understanding, is that where the wild card of game week 26, and then with the plan to free hit 27 and bench boost in 28, but come by the time 28 rolled around, it wasn't so effective anymore because we do not because some of the players got injured, and so some of these players ended up not bench boosting and saving it for another day, which is okay, I guess, but of course it means that you need to plan, in terms of your transfers to optimize so that you'll be able, when you bench boost, it will be worth it. So that's a challenge that these people will have to do. Yeah. So the second, so there's still people who haven't played their first free hit, so it's quite interesting, and we'll have to see what happens. Because bearing in mind that where the free hit chip is concerned, you cannot use both free hits consecutively. So
Yep.
managers should be careful with that, and don't don't forget that, because if it come by, and then because obviously when you free hit, then your team resets to what it was before, and if what it was before isn't optimum for that week, then you're in trouble. So be careful and
So
do
means that
remember.
in other words, you cannot like play free hit 36 and then 37.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So
So
we go. Okay. Yes. Anything, man?
no, that's it.
Okay. All right. We can see there on the right side box, there are four main categories of managers right now. Okay. Which is the first one? I think, like us,
That's it.
we have wildcard, bench boost, and one free hit. Okay. Those are the normal one that have, and the category that managers are in. Like myself and
Yeah,
Azmin. There are also managers only left with one free hit. They already played everything else. They also have managers who has only bench boost to play. They already played everything other chips. And then others, like maybe they have none chips already. So there is a different how you need to approach for the next 8 game weeks.
yeah,
Maybe you left with triple captain chips. Okay. And then there are also rare scenario where you still have two free hits, which managers still own. So
yeah.
how are you going to play these free hits? Okay. So we'll go to the next one. What options that we have? Okay. So before we deep dive, okay, I just wanna say my thanks to actually all this information. I actually got information from YouTube channel Fantasy Football Scout, where Pras and Solnado actually run through all the chip strategy, and then they post into Fantasy Football Scout. So I actually got these sources from those videos, and we shared here, and for us to actually deliberate lah, Min. Okay, in
Yep.
terms of strategy. Okay, they have their opinion. We try to see whether their opinion also shared with same like we are thinking. So in terms of wildcard, the obvious one is actually these two scenario. If let's say you still have wildcard, whether to play this week, which is wildcard in game week 31. Okay, so we go through the pros and cons. Yeah? In terms of wildcard in game week 31, or wildcarding after game week 33, which is game week 34 or 35, depending on the strategy. So in terms of wildcard in game week 31, the pros one, okay, which is I see is a good point. Maximize use of the wildcard chip. At least you have longer time to benefit when you're building this team. We have 31 until 38. To be fair, it's like 8 matches. Okay, so you have more time to utilize this. You can plan for the rest of the season. The number two is, which is true, you can actually take advantage, immediate gain in game week 31. You just target which fixture that is good, especially like Man City versus Burnley, Chelsea versus Brentford, I think Liverpool versus Watford. You can just get them all in game 30 and take advantage. A field team with good players, number three, needed for the run in. We all know City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Okay, they have something to play, and mixed with Everton, Burnley, Leicester, who has matches to be played and to be rescheduled. Okay, and then this is also a good point. Take out all the Wolves, Leeds, Villa, they're gonna blank in game week 33.
Yep.
Okay. In terms of cons, Most teams are already well set up for game week 31, 32, which is most maybe have Arsenal and Spurs. As said, I feel that's also true. Most maybe we have already 3 Spurs asset and 3 Arsenal, which is maybe you do not need this wildcard. A bench boost is if available, it will be harder in game week 36 if you try to commit. I mean, in terms of if you let's say you want to play a bench boost in 36 and you wildcard 31, it's a long journey, and anything
Yeah.
is possible to happen. And the next one is 33, which is not as big game week as 36. Okay. And
Yeah.
the other point is also good, man. In game week 32, Liverpool versus City. So if we overloaded with these players, they are going to fight each other in 32 and might not be optimal lah. So what do you think, man,
Yeah.
in terms of wildcard 31?
Okay, so there's a lot of factors here actually. I agree, totally agree with the first one in terms of maximizing that longer time to benefit from a good team. Then the immediate gain in game week 31, double City versus Burnley, but at the same time, that City thing is balanced out by the con at the bottom there in terms of where
Yep.
um, will the benefit just be for 1 week? Yeah, so that's the problem. So item four, yeah, this one I mentioned it earlier, where a lot of people have it for game week 30 and now it's all blanked. So that's no longer the case. That is something that's easily solvable if you do the wild card then. So the filling the team with good players, yep. So we mentioned quite a few of these teams in terms of not having any distractions, but at the same time, those are the Champions League teams fighting in the Champions League as well. But it all depends on your individual teams, of course. Especially if you have like double Wolves and Leeds and Villa, then it really is a problem for you for this game week. And then you couple that with, if you have players like Ramsdale injured, TAA, then it's definitely it may look like it's an obvious reason to go for a wild card. Okay, now moving on to the cons bit, I did want to mention, yeah. So the bench boosting, yep. I mean, if you're going to 36, that's 5 weeks away, so anything can happen. So it's hard, which is why moving to bench boosting in 33 might be more favorable. But the
Yep.
first
Yep.
one, yeah. So the first one is the fact that Arsenal and Spurs have good fixtures, and the fact that we already had them because they both played in game week 30. So this will be the balancing factor for those who are wildcarding. There won't be much difference if people already have Arsenal and Spurs. So you have to look to those other players like the Chelseas and the City players who pretty much hardly anyone has because
Yep.
they both blanked. Yeah, so aside from the odd Cancelo or Havertz here and there,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be optimal. So yeah, again, it comes back to you have to look at each of your team and make the decision from there. If you feel
Okay.
that your team can,
Yep.
yeah,
Let's run through game week 34 wildcard. What kind of option that we have, and then we
yeah,
we
yeah,
try to sum up, mean what you
yeah,
feel
yeah,
between these two. Okay. So wildcard in 34 and 35, we can dead end our team to 33. Okay, obvious. If we let's say we wildcard in 34, 33 has double. You can take advantage and just pick players until 33, like the likes of Newcastle, Manchester. And we can see that. Ideally, closest to game week 36 bench boost, which is another good thing because we expect 36 will be the biggest double game week. So all teams will have 2 matches should be. You can easily just pick any one of them, which is the cheap players. I like that point. Could also catch and maximize the possible Chelsea double in game week 35. We know there is possibility Chelsea can play in double in there. Another thing that I can remember, because in 33 or 32, is it somewhere there, championship with Europe punya competition. So we clearly know what will be the state of City, Chelsea, and Liverpool if let's say they lost their matches in Europe, and then you can really plan after that. That one advantage I can see. Okay. And yes, here number 4 can have a better idea who the main players to target. Okay, given like if let's say you're still in the running for Premier League top 4 and relegation better. But the cons one, then I think the single one they mentioned, you might not maximize the use of the wildcard because it's already 34, maybe like 4 or 5 matches left, and maybe you're already building to that team, and maybe you actually not going to gain so much upside lah. I think that's the one point that they shared. What do you think, man? You're on mute, man.
I'm sorry. So I guess the biggest problem with wildcard 34 is for the biggest advantage, sorry, is as you say, the fact that the Champions League and Europe matches for that state will be decided. The quarterfinals will be decided. So we will know which teams are going to semifinals and whether they include Liverpool, West Ham, Chelsea, Manchester City, and that will enable us to by wildcarding in 34, which we can't do in 21, we will be able to set that up. So I feel that's a huge advantage, especially when you consider that these are, let's say for example Liverpool or Chelsea get knocked out, but the reality is their assets are not cheap. So if you wildcard, then you're able to allocate. You have the funds to balance it out and maximize out your Cancelos and KDBs, or if Manchester City get kicked out, for example. So yeah, for me, that is a huge advantage there. Okay, so other than that, I agree with pretty much everything. The bench boosting is also a factor because we will be able to set up nicely and there won't be much change. However, my concern of the executing a bench boost late in 36, 37 is the worry of rotation, with some teams will start experimenting, and of course the bigger teams as well. Okay, it's not a case of experimenting, but because they are able to, because they have a more bigger squad. For example, for Liverpool, you may get to see Alex Ox coming out more. And this is a worry. Obviously may not be worried with the Salahs of the world, but for other players, even Robertson, Simikas might get a run out. Who knows
Yep.
when the bench boosts? And obviously they're still fighting for the league, but because it's a double game week, they will want to be fresh and still win the games. So, for example, I think Simikas is a good player and he can be used. So that there is a risk there.
Yep, I agree, man. So this is the state of wildcard. I think between 31 or 34, they have different advantages and disadvantages. It depends on the team. But if you ask me, 34, 35 could actually be the better one. The traditional one, okay, where you can take advantage a big bench boost in 36. That I feel lah.
That's what we've
Okay.
historically, that was what most of it has
Yep.
been, right? In the previous seasons,
Yep.
the
Yep.
pre-COVID world. Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the next one. Bench boost. When is the right time to do if you have, right? Whether bench boost in 33 or 36 or maybe 37. Okay, so we just run through. On 33, okay, good cheap players with good doubles like Newcastle. They play Leicester and Palace. Arsenal, they have cheap players like White, Southampton, maybe Broja, maybe, I don't know, Kyle Peter Walkers and so on. A core team of single game weakers like City, Spurs also have good fixtures, so you can mix them and just fill out your bench with the cheap one which have doubles. That's the things the pros one. The cons is if not wildcarding in game week 34. Okay, if not wildcarding 34, you need to carry some of the Southampton and Newcastle players. Means that, so if let's say we have Newcastle after 33, they actually features turn swing. Okay, so might not be good moving forward anyway. Lots of single game weakers in the starting 11 means there's a risk of a no show. Means that say you can just simply like KDB don't play, all right? So you don't have second chance. So because a lot of single game week, so that's the risk. right? In terms of BB in game week 36, easily the biggest double game week they mentioned already here, and is easily to play like 50-man squad. Okay, maybe you just play like, I don't know, Amati. Maybe they have chance to play maybe not both, at least one game. Even like number two, if there is rotation, most member will play at least some minutes. Okay, the cause is no standout strikers. They mention this to target with good doubles. Ada yang they mention like Crystal Palace like Mateta at 5.2, or maybe Watford players. I don't know. I don't want to touch Watford players, but they could be an option. Like I don't know, Kuko. That is the newest one lah. They mentioned. Okay, funds will be stretched as all the big teams with premier assets double. So means that maybe you cannot fit everyone in terms of BB anyway for all the big players. Okay. And BB in game week 36, the Pro, Everton and Leicester could have excellent double. That's the prediction. And the remaining 11 will be strong core of City, Chelsea, Liverpool and Spurs like we mentioned before. But there is possibility, main cons, like you mentioned, rotation track. Maybe they don't have any more to play. So they just play the fringe players, or just the second team players still good enough to play. And also a lot of single game weekers like BB in game week 33. So what can you sum up from here, man, in terms of BB?
All right. So for game week 33, I feel that the con, which is the lots of single game weekers, means the risk of a no-show. That is really dangerous for me. Okay. And bear in mind that, okay, let me just take a look at the reason for some of these teams only having single games is because of the FA Cup. Now,
Yep.
the FA
Yep.
Cup is on the weekend of that game week 33, which is Manchester City versus Liverpool and Chelsea versus Crystal Palace. So we've got Manchester City and Liverpool playing a huge game on the weekend. A few days later, then they will play their Premier League match. So this is where it's a worry because, for example, they can get injured. The players that you have, they might get injured in the FA Cup match. And
Yep.
another thing is, of course, rotation, because especially if these players are, especially if this team is also still involved in Europe, so then you're really running that risk. And if you look at it, for example, okay, fine, Liverpool play Manchester United midweek, so I guess that's you can you would expect that Liverpool will still field a strong squad. However, Manchester City play Brighton. Now, Brighton have been really bad of late, and Manchester City are playing at home. So who's to say that Manchester City might not make that opportunity to bench some of the key players for rest for the future Champions League or against harder harder Premier League matches. So this is where you need to work it out. Obviously, Brighton are not the harder match. Whereas Liverpool, Manchester United, you could consider is still not against a relegation team. Whereas Chelsea also playing Crystal Palace. I can't remember who they play in game week 33. Let me check. Okay, Chelsea play Arsenal. Okay, so
Yep.
so that will be interesting. They playing is two London derbies in a row, so anything can happen there. Another thing for Manchester City, if you look past that, so let's say they play Liverpool in the FA Cup, then they play in midweek against Brighton. Both matches are at home, by the way, and in game week 34, a few days later, they will also play Watford. So these Brighton and Watford, these are very risky in terms of the possibility of rotation, because these are considerably weaker teams that Pep can risk rotating to rest some of to make sure his squad remains fresh. So for me, that is a huge thing for game week 33, that it's really really risky. In
Yep.
terms of BB in game week 36, I totally agree. Is the easiest with the most volume of games, and so the possible of maximizing points is the best compared to this week, for example. So because there's a lot of double game weeks as well. So however, that bottom part, I'm not worried about the strikers bit. You can always go 4-5-1 if you want to. but the bottom part funds will be stretched. So you got Manchester City playing 2 games, Liverpool playing 3 games. So it will be a problem there. Game week 37, yeah, Everton and Leicester could have excellent doubles, but are we really looking at these two teams, especially with Leicester, who may even still be involved in the conference, and they might just not bother anymore if they already safe. Yeah,
Yep.
so yeah, that's the key things I can draw on from this slide.
Yep. So we can see at least these are the options that manager can choose. Whether it's depending on how your wildcard also if they have. But if let's say you have only single like chips like BB, I'm not sure whether you can plan up to 36, but 36 could easily everyone to play. Okay, you don't need to worry. But still depending on your team. I think the biggest impact that we can have is actually BB in 36 if we can do that lah. Okay. Let's go to free hit. In terms of free hit, okay, there are options like free hitting in 33. There are like 7 teams playing doubles, or free hitting in 36 or 37. Okay, so it's depending. If you BB in 36, you cannot free hit in 36. That's obvious. Right? So you have to plan how you, if let's say you have BB, free hit, and so on. So in terms of pros or free hitting in game week 33, you can load up on teams who don't have great fixture around 33, like Newcastle and Manchester. We can say that Manchester is not like every single team that you're going to have, but maybe if let's say you see in 33, Manchester have Norwich and Liverpool. So if let's say you think that Manchester going to trash like Norwich, you want to load up on Bruno, Ronaldo, and so on, then you can take advantage of doing this. And then you can leave them out after that. Current popular teams like Spurs, Liverpool don't double, and Leeds Villa blank. So you can easily just remove this player if you don't want and just pick the double teams. The cons is single game week also have great games. Okay, games are great during that week, like City and Spurs both facing out of form Brighton. Okay, even Liverpool assets versus Manchester United is not bad call at all. As you know, reverse fixture is like 5-0 right in at Old Trafford. And Reece James again, Arsenal also playable options, even though Arsenal and Chelsea will be tighter. Uh, the cons is you lose option of free hitting later in the season lah, which is maybe if let's say 36 and 37 could actually be the better game week to free hit lah. In terms of free hitting in 36 or 37, the option is getting the best. Like BB, okay, going to have the best option, the most option from all single teams, but you pick the balance of it, the premium and also the enabler. Insurance for any last minute suspension, injuries, and rotation. Okay, depending on whatever result before that, and you can take out Spurs asset like who could have less appealing double. They double like playing Liverpool and Arsenal. Maybe around same way game week 36. If let's say that is the potential that this thing could have. But the cons one, most team maybe already load up lah on Chelsea and City's asset anyway, and you should have like 5-6 players from these two teams. Therefore, this week will carry a lower upside. That's how managers look at. Maybe upside is not so great. So what do you feel, man?
I to be fair, I'm partial to free hitting in game week 33, of course, again dependent on your team. It's just that again the risk of that 36, 37 in term rotation, I feel that it's going to be higher, and I don't. Yeah, the Spurs thing is quite a key factor actually, given that depending on what chips people have, but at the moment most people have maxed out on Spurs assets, so it'll be frustrating to because around the game week 36 fixtures it's good, but it's just that game week 36 is a bad one, so that's where it works for me. But again, I'm always wary, especially towards this part of the season where some teams may experiment and play. Even Manchester City could have someone like Palmer come in, and play, especially if, for example, they are knocked out of the champions. If they're not knocked out of the Champions League, yeah. So that's where you need to be careful.
All right. So let's go to summarize of all the chips. What option do you have? So we can see here the options. If you have, like we mentioned, the first category, wildcard, bench boost, and free hitting. So the first one is wildcard in game week 31. And then you bench
Yeah,
boost in 33 and free hit in 37, 36 or 37.
yeah,
Another option you could do is actually wildcard in 31, free hitting in 33, and bench boost 36. That could be optimal. But the thing is, like we mentioned, bench boost away from 31 is has a
5 weeks.
long week.
Yeah,
Like, so I'm not sure whether you can actually have a good bench after that period lah. That's the worry. The other thing is your wildcarding in 34. So you're free hitting at 33, wildcard in 34, and the bench boost 36. Okay, I think that could be optimal. Or bench boost in 33. Okay, I don't know how you're going to set that up. Then wildcard and free hit. So I'm not sure whether that's theoretically maybe, but I'm not sure whether we can do that. Or wildcard 34, bench boost 36, and free hit at 37, 38. I mean, free hit at 38 also might add a consideration. Like we mentioned that 38 could easily be a high scoring game, right? We already experienced that. So that could be
yep.
an option. So what do you think, Min? If let's say we are in this category,
So
what?
for me, since we are both in this category, and to be honest, I haven't really decided yet. I
But these are
originally was
options that
looking at doing that
managers
last.
can do. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So for me, I was looking at that last option, which is wildcard 34, because you'll have a lot more information where you can bench boost and free hit. However, I'm wary about free hitting on that last week. Obviously, as you say, we've seen a lot of high scoring matches in the last game of the season in previous seasons. The problem is trying to figure out who will score is always a challenge. All the random people can score in this last game week, so it is a bit of a problem. Okay, so wildcard 31 is really good, especially if you have tripled up on Leeds, Wolves, and Villa that we mentioned earlier. So it allows you to fix at the same time. Uh, let's say you don't have a um, like it allows you to also bring in Manchester United assets early, especially if you don't have a free hit available. So, but at the same time, you have Chelsea who play Brentford, Liverpool who play Watford. So you may want to take advantage, especially now with Liverpool, for example. Most teams will probably be left with only Salah, but they may want to max out against Watford because that's a prime matchup if I ever saw one. Yeah, and at the same time, Manchester City play Burnley, and Manchester City have such a I can't remember exactly what it is, but they have such a good record against Burnley. So even though Burnley playing double weeks, but Manchester City assets might still be the way to go. And most of us, like from myself, for example, I don't have any Manchester City player at all. Yeah, having sold the last player who I had was Cancelo, who I'm also sold to bring in another defender who was supposed to be playing in game week 30. So where that's concerned, it's hard to decide with the wildcard 31 or 34, but definitely it is those two options. I did look at other possibilities like in 32, but 30, 36, but 36 is just too late for it
Yep.
to
Yep.
really
Yep.
impact your team. So
Yep.
34 for me, it's not even 35 feels too late. 34 is your last chance
Yep.
salon to really optimize
I
your
think I think
farm.
I agree with you. That end your team by 33 because ada double game week and then reset your team. We see category managers who have free hit, whether you have one or two. So these are the options. You cannot play consecutively, right? Like Azmi mentioned, you get free hit at 33 or 36 or 38. Or maybe somewhere, if you free hitting 36, you cannot play 37 lah. So that's why they give option at 38.
Mm.
Just between 36 If you play free hitting 37, you have another free hit, you cannot play 38. So you need to plan. But if you have one, you can just choose one of these.
Yep.
I mean, in terms of bench boost, also I think these are two options. Bench boost 33 or 36. The best should be 36, but 33 is not so bad. Depending of your wildcarding.
Yep.
So I think that's the summary. Managers can think of what's the best for your team. We can only just advise. My thinking might be different than Azmin, but we share already our thoughts. Okay.
Yep.
So wildcard team, if let's say we are wildcarding our team for game week 31, okay? So we look at the next three fixtures so called 31, 32, 33 because 33 has double. We can see there in terms of season ticker, Burnley have like double fixture in 31 and 33. That's why they are on top. Manchester United, not so bad, man. Okay, even though we might see that Manchester might not be so consistent, but they have Leicester, Everton, and Norwich. Even though Liverpool, the other match in 33, they have some favorite matches. Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Brighton, and then Southampton and Chelsea. Leicester, maybe we worry about the rotation, but they have good fixture in 33, Newcastle and Everton. Then Everton, surely because 31, they have West Ham and also Burnley. Okay. The remaining and Southampton somewhere there, they played double in 33, Arsenal and Burnley. West Ham not so much, but they have favorite fixture into Everton, Brentford and Burnley, but you already know they have a European commitment. And then Newcastle have good fixture in 33, Leicester and Crystal Palace. So in terms of players to target, I'll just share with that. I think in terms of Burnley, Whitehouse should be the popular one. Easily direct replacement to Jimenez if you just want to change like for like 7.5, 7.6 to 6.4, 6.5. Or maybe Pope if let's say Ramsdale not healthy in 31, maybe he actually injured for quite some time, and Pope have 5 fixtures to play for the next 3 men. So interested on Burnley?
Okay, I'll have to confess, I have a bit of a thing for Maxwell Cornet. So it was really annoying
Okay.
that it was really annoying that Jimenez got himself sent off because the priority now became trying to find a replacement, which meant that I had to look for a striker instead. Um, I'm not keen, I guess,
Okay.
especially because they play against Manchester City in the first game. I'm it's hard, and I wonder if Everton players might be the way to go. Although I do have already 2 Everton players. The thing is, West Ham are also fighting in Europe, so it may be an issue for them.
Okay.
But then the Everton Burnley. So it all boils down to who you think will win between Everton and Burnley, and if you do that, then that's where you go. So I'm not. But at the moment, I'm not really keen on Weghorst unless
Okay.
I
Okay.
really have no other option because thanks to Jimenez.
Okay.
Uh, Pope becomes an option as well simply because a lot of managers who had Ramsdale and now Ramsdale's injured, and it just falls just nicely for you to have a keeper who will play 2 double game weeks in the space of 3 weeks. So that kind of works, but you have to be confident of Pope actually getting the points that you need.
Yep. To be fair, Pope actually price is higher. It's 5.4. To be fair, it's not like cheap.
Yeah.
So we need to invest some money to him. In terms of Arsenal, okay, Saka, Ramsdale, and White. Maybe I should put Martinelli also somewhere there. They are cheap players that you can bench and
Yep.
macam like you wildcarding in 31, bench boost in 33. That I can see option for Arsenal. I think that is easy pick in terms of Arsenal assets. For Leicester, Barnes and Madison could be the one that you should look at, but I'm not sure whether Michael should be an option also, man. He's only at 4.8. He's actually double in 33, and moving forward, they have some double to be played. Maybe
No,
he's.
the problem with Leicester is that they still have a lot of defensive issues. Okay, and okay, fine. So I think in the previous few weeks they kept two clean. They managed to um, keep a couple of clean sheets, but I'm trying to see what teams they were, but against Leeds, they managed to keep clean sheets against Leeds and what was the other team, and Burnley. So these are two of the who aren't haven't been scoring. So there's still a lot of issues with the Leicester defense. So I wouldn't put it past. So for example, like yeah, so definitely we would want to just focus on the attack rather than the defense for
Yep.
Leicester. So definitely not Schmeichel. I wouldn't consider him.
Okay. For Newcastle, cheap asset you can get from there. Dubravka 4.4, Sa 4.3. Fraser still cheap, right? I mean, you had him before, so could be an option for 33. That I can
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, definitely Newcastle. The only problem with Newcastle assets is trying to figure out what to do after game week 33 because they have quite a bad
Yep.
lineup. So you have to think about that one as well.
Okay. And to an extent, Southampton, people mentioned that Broja could be an option. I'm not sure whoever had him before, they said it's a bit frustrating with Broja. Eden's a different player. He's been on form, but it's a bit pricey, 6.97 million. And JWP
Yeah,
in midfield, if you want to consider.
yeah. So the only concern for me with Southampton is have they stopped playing? So they didn't play in game week 30, but in game week 29 they did play and they lost against Watford 1-2. So they obviously safe from relegation. They're in that mid zone. They're too far from Europe. So I'm not sure what's going on there. And it does make me worry about picking Southampton players, even though some of the matchups look favorable.
Okay, so we take into consideration of this player to target. See what kind of wildcat team that we can have if let's say we want to draft. Okay, this is the one I took from community in football scout. They mentioned these are the template that could be in game week 31 depending on your team value. Obviously, we can see there Pope in goal. Okay, I think justify 5 matches for the next 3 game weeks. And if let's say Ramsdale is confirmed out for a few weeks, Pope is not bad choice, mate. Then the usual suspect, TAA, Cancelo, and James. Those are the explosive one that I can see. If TAA confirm injured, let's say, could be 2 weeks or more, Robertson at a cheaper price could come there, man. That I can see lah. Right? And then in midfield, Saka, Arsenal from Kulusevski, cheap at 6.2, 6.3. Havertz the one, man. You had him or you still have him, okay? At 7.9. He says in terms of ownership is still low. I think lower than 10%. Okay. So he's really differential, but we still worry about rotation, right? If let's say Chelsea want to concentrate in Europe, then maybe Lukaku play in the league, something like that. Salah is the obvious one, the king, the player of the season. And Barnes, if you want covering in terms of Leicester asset. If not, Madison. Then White Horse, I think you don't like him, but he has 5 matches for the next 3 game weeks. And Kane, the obvious, the informed one. In terms of bench, Dubravka, as Newcastle have double game week in 33. White play double in 33. He's cheap at 4.5. Gerrard, I'm not so sure. Maybe Brentford out, he's more confirmed to play. I'm not too sure. And Amarty, I'm not sure whether he plays, but he's cheap at 3.9. So what's your comment, man?
Uh, yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Again, of course, the risk of who plays what, especially for these Chelsea players. I'm worried about James they because they do play Real Madrid, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So it all depends on what the status of James is, before picking him. I feel comfortable if for people bringing in Havertz. Well, obviously I already have him myself, but I feel that he has the momentum on his side, and he could
He actually
theoretically
scored in international game also, right, man? So
yeah,
is
yeah.
continuing.
So he can actually start this match, and then if they're in a winning position, he can go off after 60, 70 minutes. So and then give him enough rest for Real Madrid, and play that, and then come back for the next one. I think it's definitely possible, especially when you have a player who is clearly in good form. Yeah, so you don't want to disrupt that, by sudden benching him, even if it's against a poor opponent, because the better time management for me for players in form would be to start and take them off early rather than bench him straight away. Because you kind of disrupt the momentum and maybe a bit of confidence as well. Um, so yeah, I don't really have any issues about the rest except for Burnley, of course, because I wonder if Everton's keeper's position is secure. We don't know it's secure given they were trashed 4-0 against Palace
Yeah.
in the FA Cup. Yeah,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I would rather have an Everton keeper there rather than Pope, because I'm just I'm just not sure with Burnley. Is
Pickford, you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Bentley coming back? Do you know?
Who?
Ben Me. He wasn't available.
Ben Me. He could return, but I'm not too sure. The press
Yeah, okay.
conference should clear
Well,
us
we'll
out.
find out. Yeah, we'll find out on our Friday stream. But if Ben Me is not back, it does become a yeah. I really question whether Pope is the way to go, if especially if someone like Ben Me is out. Because look, theoretically, that Manchester City match could end up with Pope on a negative. You know, well, it's not negative lah, but you'll end up with 1 point or even zero.
Okay.
So you really have to. I just don't
Okay.
like Pope. Yeah, even though
Okay.
I need
Fair.
to figure out Ramsdale.
Okay. All right. I think we run through this already. Okay. I think this is
Yeah,
good. At least for a start, you were drafting, then depending on your how you're gonna pick your players lah. Okay. But the
yep.
core we can see Chelsea, Liverpool, some to extent City. I don't know whether try to fit in. Foden, but he's at 7.9, so you need to sacrifice somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's
So
something that to
yeah. So
consider.
this is this is where is if you can hold off until later, because the question now is on Salah, whether or not Salah will start that match given his international league accessions. But Liverpool Watford is the first match for game week
Yeah.
31, so
The
you
early
could
kickoff.
have
Yeah.
early team news on that one. So if Salah is unavailable, given that Salah Liverpool plays Manchester City in game week 32, that could be the opportunity
Mm.
you need to replace. But of course, you end up replacing with someone like KDB who still play Liverpool in game week 32 anyway. But at least it'll be someone who's playing in game week 31, and that's where you
Yep.
need to take
Yep.
advantage.
Okay. Fair. I like that option, man.
Yep.
Just quickly run through game week 31 fixture. We'll run through again in our deadline stream. But we can
Yep.
see here, like you mentioned, Liverpool has an early kickoff versus Watford home. We expect. I think reverse fixture they trash Watford final, something like that. So
Yep.
this could be another high scoring game. Uh, and Salah could be, if let's say playing, could be on another big points. Then
Yep.
Brighton versus Norwich. Okay, Burnley versus Man City. Man City should be up and in task to win this game. Okay, Chelsea versus Brentford. Chelsea at home, expect to win. Okay, Leeds versus Southampton. Both are attacking. Wolves versus Villa. Then Manchester versus Leicester. Manchester has definitely something to play. They want to win this game. West Ham versus Everton. Everton has been leaky. West Ham could, I don't know, trash Everton. I'm not too sure. But Spurs as against Newcastle is also a good game. Spurs, Kane, Son on in form. They want to fight for the top four. Then Palace versus Arsenal. That could be a tricky one, man. I feel Crystal Palace is not easy team. If
No.
Arsenal wants to win, they really need to play their best game. And then in midweek, just to remind, Burnley and Everton gonna play it twice just to add spice to your game week. And if let's say you pick Burnley or Everton as that, okay. Anything to say? Anything, man, for fixtures?
No, yeah, I think all the teams highlighted as the potentially big scoring matches are there. My only exception that I want to make is probably Spurs Newcastle, because I feel that with Newcastle's improved defense, It's a lot. It's not as straightforward as it used to be. So it could very well be just a one goal game. That one.
Okay. All right. Captain P, we just ran through. We know everyone's voting for Salah if he plays. Or I don't know, he comes in to the bench, I'm not too sure. But Kane could be the one, man, this week.
I'm not convinced. I ruled out Kane pretty quickly, for the captaincy, even though I have him because I don't want to underestimate Newcastle's improvement, because it's definitely much better, and Spurs are, can be random sometimes. So no, I'm not doing Kane. Yeah, Salah.
Okay.
If I'm certain that he'll start, yeah, he gets the captaincy for me. No
Okay.
argument.
Fair. So no argument, no need to overthink like don't captain the early kickoff game.
He's already disproved that by scoring
Oh, okay.
earlier in the season in an early kickoff, and
Okay.
I was a believer at the time, and I didn't captain him, and that was regret.
Okay. The next one, maybe Man City versus Burnley. If let's say we have KDB, okay, they like KDB. But just to add in, man, we always say that players who play double has two chance of getting points. White Horse, Burnley versus Man City and Everton. Could he be the one?
No thanks.
Okay, okay, all right. But you never know, like Burnley needs to win against Everton. They turn out and White Horse, one goal, one assist should be enough.
Okay, I said this a while ago, but they've needed to win for a while now, and it still hasn't happening. So, so it's a bit, the double game week, what, 27 was it? 26, I can't remember.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Burnley scored two, and that where Weghorst did well in that double game week in a hard matchup, and then with an easier matchup they crashed. So yeah,
Okay,
bad
all right.
experiences, man.
Okay, let's go to our team, man. What's your plan for 31?
All right, so quickly here we've run past 1 hour 15 minutes. So yeah, so I'm originally I wasn't planning on wildcarding 31. I was looking at wildcard 34, but now that Ramsdale's injured, TAA is out, Jimenez is of course suspended. So I'm
TA
looking
confirm
at
out, man. TA
yeah,
confirm
it's
out.
confirmed out because it looks like it was even touch and go for the City match 1 week after. He's racing to be
Okay.
fit for that match, which kind of implies that this one is definitely out. So I need to make a decision with whether or not I'll risk going without a keeper for this one. Uh,
Foster
no,
can
because
play.
if I go, yeah, the thing is Foster will end up playing, which could be a negative score. I, I don't know whether or not I want to do that. Yeah, so that it's really annoying, this
I
Ramsdale
think I
one,
think
because
the crucial one is Ramsdale out for how long? If let's say more than 1 week, I think if let's say 1 week only, he's still a keep. I feel.
well, yeah, I mean, given that if I don't wildcard now, then I'll wildcard in 34. So 3 weeks is not so bad. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. So anyway, so yeah. So I haven't decided yet. I'm definitely looking at trying to see if I can bring a Manchester City player in. But of course, I need to deal with those. Originally, I think it was free, but with the injuries, TAA could be sacrificed for Cancelo. I think
Okay.
that might be the more straightforward. But then it's the keeper thing that's an issue. I don't mind Jimenez stinking up there, and just leave him until game week 34. But Ramsdale not around is a serious problem for me.
Okay. All right. I think we have more news this weekend, and then we run through your team again.
Yeah.
For my team, okay, I just run through. You see there, the biggest one is I have no Salah. Okay, because I transferred him out and pick Kane to bring in, and I feel he's a must own if he definitely in. So I feel that's the big one. And then come into thinking like TAA is should be out, right? I mean, you mentioned, okay,
Yeah.
Jimenez red carded, he will miss two matches, okay, for the red card. Digny Livramento also not keen because I heard Hasselhoff did mention the Liverpool cannot simply play back-to-back game. Let's say Southampton have two matches, he can only play one, so I don't want that. Diop is a non-playing game, so you can see a lot of issues in my team. Rafinha is the one frustrating, but he has good matches. Gray is another one. He's been toying with me. 5.5 is a pricey of Everton asset, which I don't like anymore. So with this all of issues on, just to review with you, I already clicked my wildcard button for game week 31, and I will show you my draft team. Okay, currently I'm at here. Okay, still I have Ramsdale and partner with Dubravka, but you can see the yellow flag. Okay, but this is something that I need to consider. But if let's say Ramsdale clear and Dubravka clear, I will keep them. If not, Pope or I don't know, someone like Schmeichel can come into thinking. You can see there TA, Robertson and James. James might not be clear, so I just park them first. Mana tahu they come price rising. But if let's say TA confirm out, maybe Cancelo easily there. Cancelo, Robertson and James. Or if James injured, I could bring Rudiger or something like that. And Chelsea have a good feature, Brentford and Southampton coming up. Then in midfield, Saka, Kulusevski, Havertz. I want Havertz, you convince me. Salah and a cheap one, Enabler, Gordon at 4.5. Everton play 2 games. I don't mind, I think. Yeah, I just pick him. And then I have Kane, the obvious one, and Wet Horse. I just parked there. I think Burnley have 5 matches. I feel he has something to play, so I just pick him. And then on the bench, White, Kucho, just 5 million. I'm not too sure, but Ensha at 4.3. And I'm looking at bench boost at 33. That's the obvious, the nearest one. White play twice, Shaw play twice, Dubravka play twice. Kucho have home matches against Brentford, which is not bad, I feel.
Yeah. So
what do you think?
So the trick with Liverpool is, of course, you do you want not to have a Liverpool attacker instead, someone like Jota instead.
Okay.
So let's
He's
say
expensive now, right? 8 million plus, right?
Yeah. Let's say TAA is out, so you got an option for you have a space for another Liverpool.
Fair.
And the reason I'm pushing a possible Liverpool asset is simply because, okay, unlike obviously they have Champions League, but unlike say Chelsea and Manchester City, theoretically their matchup is not as hard. Where you've got Chelsea who play Real Madrid, and you've got Manchester City who play Atletico Madrid. Liverpool play Benfica, so I feel that it's something that it could be safe enough to pick up a Liverpool player and they'll do well in. So that's one thing to throw out.
The one thing I thinking, if let's say I put a lot of Liverpool and Man City here, I will overload it in game week 32, which is they play each other.
I think so Gordon's an excellent. I mean, it's a great asset enabler for this, especially at his price. If you want an Everton player for a double game week, you should go for a cheap guy who actually plays, and he's an attacking player. So okay, yeah. So this is why again, this is another reason why I'm so annoyed with the Jimenez injury, because I could try, because if you remember, I have Eriksen in my team. I could switch him for Cornet or even switch him for Gordon. Yeah.
Yep.
If I wanted to have a double gamer, but because of again this Jimenez is annoying. Anyway, quickly. So yeah, I think everyone else is okay. It's again, I'm not too great with the Kane captaincy, of course, but that's a personal preference.
Okay, I just park there first. Okay, see how it goes. Just between those two.
Yeah, but other than that, yeah, it's pretty solid. It sets you up.
I think I've been thinking during the break, and I just decided that wildcard is the way to go for my team. Especially I'm not having Salah, and we know Salah can do damage if let's say he plays in Watford game. Even though maybe he plays like 60-70 minutes, he could actually score hat-trick within that time. So I could not go without him, and that's trigger me on top of TA injury and others. I feel this is the right option for me. Wildcard 31, my thinking bench boost in 33 and free hitting somewhere 36 or 37. So I'm one of them.
All
Okay.
right. So we'll see how your team progresses and see how we are on
Yep.
Friday.
Yep. Yep. Okay, guys, we are come to the end of the show. It's been over 1 hour and 20 minutes, but it's an important stream that we want to run through with all of you. Remember, our game week 31 deadline will be at Saturday at 6 p.m. Okay, not Friday night, which is good thing. Okay, Saturday we have things to consider and have more time to think. So that's all from me, man. And your last word.
Yeah. So note the change in deadline time, where especially it was 7 o'clock in Malaysia. Now it's 6 o'clock in Malaysia because of daylight saving time, which happened 2 Sundays ago. Yeah. So don't forget that because don't get caught by surprise. Suddenly you log in at 6 to finalize your team and find out the deadline's there. So yeah, so be careful again.
Min, sorry, Min. I ran through. I saw a question. Maybe we answer some of them.
Oh, oh,
Uh,
okay,
we
okay,
forgot about
sorry.
that. Rakan FPL has been asking us some question. Maybe we run through some of it.
Totally forgot.
So we just share a bit, which is maybe this one. Bruno, good shout in terms of, like we mentioned. Manchester United have some good fixture coming up. Leicester, Everton, Norwich, and also Liverpool. What do you think, man?
For me, it's a great shout actually. But again, it depends on where you're gonna find the space for him, based on your team structure. If you wildcarding, fine, then it's good. But otherwise, you'd have to. If you had Son, maybe you have enough funds to move to Bruno. Yeah. Otherwise, you're looking at taking hits to get him in, or selling Salah to get him in. So, but in terms of looking at Bruno by himself, it's Leicester, Everton, Norwich. He'll definitely start. And Manchester United are not involved elsewhere. So yeah, it's a very good shot.
Yep. Okay. Ronaldo O'Kane, man. I know Ronaldo played 2 games in game week 33. So is he a better shot than Kane?
No, I still go for Kane.
Yep, yep. To be fair,
It's
he's
just it's
really
just
on fire.
Manchester United's attack is just still inconsistent. Yeah, but whereas Kane's Spurs seem to be clicking much better now, and Kane is the form player for the past 5 weeks now, 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yep, yep. I agree Kane is better one. But if you're free hitting in game week 33, maybe Ronaldo is a good shot than Kane. Maybe try to roll your dice against Norwich, but not so much in terms of against Liverpool. That I can see lah. And some more Manchester United a bit inconsistent. There's another concern that I can share. With Leicester defender coming back fit for Fana, James Justin, Castagna, who else? Pereira. Will Leicester come good at the back again? Maybe, man.
I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, lah, maybe
I
Rakan
probably would
FPL says maybe Schmeichel could be an option.
yeah. Again, that the Europe commitments is really worrying me.
Okay. All right. Antonio, the forgotten man, Hendrick versus Everton. Small or big possibility? Antonio, in terms of West Ham, there's some good feature, but they do not play double, so there's a concern. I don't think Antonio will be a obvious pick for managers. They will go some other assets. That's what I feel.
And yeah, there's definitely better options elsewhere.
All right, man. We come back again in our deadline stream. All right. So for now, we say goodbye. Thank you everyone for joining our session. Okay. Do like our video. Give us the support for FPL Jedi Show and subscribe to our YouTube channel. So that's all from us. See you again in our next stream. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Thinking of what's your plan will be for the next 8 matches. at
All the
8
all the
British.
best. See
Yeah.
you Saturday morning. Bye.
Bye.